Don't know if you guys can hear that. Dogs barking. Oh, that's my breath. Haven't made a video in a while because we've actually been super busy. I have flown as much from January to the middle of March, or almost the end of March. So not quite 3 months as I did all last year. We're currently sitting in a place that I have not been for 13 years, since summer of 2008. We are in Shamattawa. And last time I was here, I was flying the Islander that I videotaped up in St. Teresa Point. And we flew it in here, and we brought fuel barrels over to that yellow building so that we could fly people from here out to the coast of Hudson Bay to go goose hunting as a kind of rite of passage for the young adults of the reserve. So I spent 2 weeks sitting in that terminal building waiting for the Islanders to come back because they're not landing at airports, so I didn't have the experience to do it. They were just landing on fields and beach eskers, and I stayed here and manned the fuel station. As you can see, I am back to the overnight shift. There's Deb, D-E-B, sitting there. It's actually warm out. You can see some of the stuff kind of wet and melting. The lights in Shamattawa for the airport do not work. They have a temporary lighting system, which is extremely dull. We thought for a bit on approach that we weren't actually going to make it in because we couldn't see the airport. But, kind of got a glimpse of it at the last second, and down you go. Shamattawa has been in the news a little while back just because of how hard hit by COVID they were. The military was here, gone now. Everything's kind of under control here, and the pandemic's moved on to other reserves, and Puckatawagan and Lynn Lake. A few other areas are the hard hit ones at this point. And the person we're taking tonight actually had COVID already, so we know that she is COVID negative, which means we don't have to wear all of our protective equipment. We just have to wear the basic surgical mask or cloth mask that everyone has to wear everywhere now these days. So yeah, the last 2 rotations flew 5 out of the 7 days. This rotation, I'm on day 3. We've flown all 3 nights. And it's taken us all night. We get back at the end of the shift. Our shifts changed recently. It used to be, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. We moved everything forward an hour to sync up better with the medical crews. So now we're 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. and 1 a.m. to 1 p.m. and then 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and 1 p.m. to 1 a.m. I'm on 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. now for this week. and then a week off, and then another week on, 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. before we rotate out again. And these are the last 2 rotations with this captain. It's been 5 months with this one captain, and just time that they swap all the FOs around again. So I'm actually going with a captain who, he and I started here at the same time because we came from the same company before. And so it'll be nice to fly with him again. Beautiful clear night out. You can see it wearing on the crews. We're going a lot more than we normally do. People are tired. It looks exactly the same as the last time I was here. Actually, probably can't see it. There's what looks like a radio or cell tower. That might not have been here when I was here. There is no cell service. So there's no way for the medical crew to get a hold of us. They just have to show up when they show up. But we don't have to put on PPE this time, so it doesn't really matter if they just kind of show up, we're ready to go. Fuel tanks over there, you can probably just barely see. I don't think those were there when I was here. But the orange building, the yellow building, that terminal building, all here. You notice there's no gate. It just opens out onto the street. Security, not a big thing at northern airports. You can see the snow banks from where they've piled the snow. I mean, these have melted some, and they're still twice my height. Ramp's still kind of icy, a little slippery. We parked over in the driest spot over by where we found some plugins and hoped they worked, and luckily they did. Weren't sure because there's no lights at the airport now. Didn't know if the rest of the electrical was working. Had a nice tailwind coming up, which means we probably have a nice headwind going back. It'll be a solid 2 hours in the air going back, about 1:45 coming up. And yeah, getting up there in hours. Hopefully hit 1,000. At this pace, I'll hit 1,000 in another couple of months. By summer, I'll hit 1,000. Who knows? Hopefully, upgrade in the near future. I just had my recurrent annual flight training. That went really well. Trainers and testers were impressed. Said they'd give me a good word up the chain, so. Most people here weren't so many cars 13 years ago as you hear four-wheeler going there, because I mean the roads are all dirt here. You don't necessarily need a car. Everyone's got a skidoo or a four-wheeler, but there are some cars. I got a ambulance here, which is basically a, like, it's not a blocky square ambulance like you think of. It's like a sprinter van with windows, like a people carrier. But, you know, it fits the stretcher and the medical crew, and it's relatively new. Pretty nice, actually. Probably get back 6 o'clock, 6:30, just in time to go home kind of thing, which is nice. Eats up the day, but or the night, but it means don't get any rest at night and end up sleeping all through the day, so you don't get much accomplished. Well, I'll talk with you guys later. Everyone stay safe.